Well, hey guys, it's Michael here. Got a little tractor project we're going to work on today. I got one of these weld-on chain hooks we're going to be putting on the bucket here, and got a set of tongs we're going to be hanging off the front with a little section of chain. So we're going to take the tractor down, try out the OmniPro welder that I have, and weld this on. And we're going to pick a few logs up and see how they work. So stick around, check out the video. Well, figured I've had a few viewers ask about my tractor, so in this video I'm going to just give a little brief description of this before we get welding here. This tractor I got a few years back, like 3 years ago. It's been a rock solid tractor. It's like early 80s vintage. Shibira is the name of it. I never really heard of them until I was looking to buy this thing. I did a little research, and it's built in Japan. It was shipped around the world in different places, but they never sent them to the US as Shibiras, but they were actually rebadged as Fords in the early 80s and late 70s. The blue and white Fords were Shibiras. And it's the SD 1840, meaning 18 horsepower, 2-cylinder diesel, and 4-wheel drive. And it's built like a tank. This thing is pretty solid for being a small 18 horsepower tractor. So I'm going to pop the hood and show you guys the motor and show you a few other features about it. So they're called gray market tractors, being that they were used in Japan mainly, and they get shipped over here once they're done using them in the paddies. So it's got some enormous lugs on these tires. They're fairly old, worn down, but they still have enormous lugs on them. Anyways, here's the little 18 horsepower motor. Pretty simple. It's got a full-size alternator, which is kind of nice. And even if this goes out, I'd probably just adapt a GM one wire to it. Enormous starter. I mean, look at the size of the starter. It's definitely not messing around. It's solid. Got a nice air filter, easy access on top here. Metal fuel tank. Used to have a way, I have to replace this line sometime. It used to be a clear little line so you could see the diesel, but it's discolored over the years. But anyways, it's pretty neat. All the stuff on this thing is all in Japanese. Talks about like the maintenance points on it and all that stuff. It's all in Japanese. Fits a full-size battery up front, which is nice. Here's the engine on this side. Might need to tighten down one of the injectors, maybe a valve cover gasket. But anyways, little injection pump. I ran it low on diesel a few times. It's not too bad to bleed these. Pretty simple. These manual injection pumps are pretty easy. When they got shipped over here, I think to kind of entice people to buy them, they would put front buckets on here. So this is an aftermarket bucket someone put on it. We'll go over some of these levers it's got on here. It's got your typical brakes, throttle setup, foot throttle and everything like that. It's 5 forward speeds, 1 reverse, but it's got a unique thing. It's got a high and low range here, which most tractors have, so you get 5 high and 5 low. But it also has, I kind of call it a shuttle shift. It has another high and low range here, so it's got stackable. And this one shifts on the fly. You can just stop it for a split second. It shifts really smooth from high and low range there. So you potentially got 20 forward speeds and 4 reverse speeds. It's got 3 different PTO speeds right down here. It's got shifting in and out of 4-wheel drive on the side. It's got maybe another PTO lever. I'm not sure. It's got a rear differential lock. It's got all kinds of levers. Some of them I haven't used in a long time. I kind of forgot what they do. But again, like everything I said, is all in Japanese. It does have some PTO information up here, the RPMs and stuff. But it's kind of neat. Neat tractor. Right. Got all the paint cleaned off of here. I think I'm going to weld the hook something like this. So let's fire up the OmniPro and see, get it set up here. Alright, let's go. So that's for a argon CO2 blend. Alright. We got 30 wire in here. Gotta change it down to, so it goes to 1/4 inch maximum there. Alright, we're ready to start welding. Alright, so I got tack welded right here at the top, and I got a clamp kind of pulling in at the bottom. It's right where I want it, so we'll start welding. Zoom in here so you guys can see that weld. Well, there we go. There's the first weld. Like I said before, I've been really happy the way this thing works, man. You just turn it on, dial in what you're going to be welding, and I find the auto set works perfectly fine. You know, there's been some other people out there that were claiming they didn't like the numbers that were on the screen. They didn't seem like they're right, but I found that works just fine on auto set. You can always go to manual and fine tune it if you want, but you can weld like this. It's on a 1/4 inch, and just by turning a knob and pushing a button, you can be down to sheet metal thickness and welds that just fine too. So we'll get to the other side and finish up this hook. Here's the other side of the hook here. Alright, got the tongs on here. We're going to pack them up and see how it does lifting logs. So after buying the tractor, I ended up taking some metal I had laying around here, and me and my buddy cut all the parts and built this box scraper for it. They're just super useful to have. Anyways, here's the rear end of the tractor. As you can see, it's built pretty robust. I mean, it's kind of what I've seen on some like Kubotas that are a 30 horse range. These are about 5.5, 6 inches across on the axles back here. Rear end's just massive. All really stout. I mean, metal components. They definitely weren't messing around on this stuff. Really thick steel. Anyways, here's a funny little thing. It's got a little toolbox on the side. I've added some tools in there, but when I first got it, I was fishing around. You definitely know it's gray market when you find a chopstick in the toolbox. So yeah, it cracked me up. I've kept it in there just to get a good laugh out of it. I guess it'd be like us finding a fork in there, but yep, there's the rear end of this thing. So just glow plug it for a little while here. It takes about 30-40 seconds, and inside the dash there's a little tiny coil of wire that starts glowing red. That's, you know, the glow plugs are heating up. And is. So one thing I want to show you guys is this thing has 2 and high-low range transmissions on it. So it has one on the side, which I call like a shovel shift. If you're backing out of a spot after digging dirt and you're in low range, you can stop, slide it in the high range and just cruise a lot quicker. But then it has another one that you don't shift as often, but it's on the gearbox. So I'll put it from high to low for the shovel shift and low range on the second. And I'll run the engine at 2,000 RPMs. It's incredibly low gearing for low, I guess. All right, check it out. Here's the first log we're going to try to lift with these tongs. It's 12 inches on the small side, 14 inches on the back side, 8 feet long, and it's a maple log, so it's hardwood. So we'll give it a try. So one thing I think those tongs are going to be super useful for that I didn't think about until just now is this is my log stack. Here's my mill over here. Every time I load logs in here, I end up just getting a stack, and I always have to mill from this side over, just because I have the PV. You're not going to really roll the logs over each other, so you kind of got to move through the stack like this through the logs. Say I have a 10-footer over here and I need to use it or anything like that, I can just pick it up with my tractor now and carry it right over and set it down. So that's going to be super useful to have. Well, these log tongs are a great improvement to the tractor here. It's going to be nice mainly just for picking logs up right around the staging area and dropping them on the mill. It's one of those things for moving logs further around my property. I'll definitely use the log arch. It just keeps the log lower and more stable. But this will be really nice for just staging logs and getting them ready for here. And it's got a swivel in it, so when you do get the balance point pretty close, you can swivel them around and relocate them pretty easy. So yeah, I'm happy with it so far. So thanks for sticking around and checking out the video, guys. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see others from me, hit like and subscribe. Got a lot of videos on my sawmill and other projects I've been working on a lot. So thanks again, guys. Take care.